about ready to mark. Go ahead. Hold on, Ward. Give me 10 seconds. Ready? We're getting close. Good. Ready? Yep. Marking. 124.19. And it should have been 124.00. Another one? Yep. Ground bar ready. Tell me when. Marking. Okay, 124.17. Key release, proceed.
Flight Director, SSR,
What do you want, Captain?
Should have been 24.01.
Dave Scott came out there and said the flight
One more.
that
Good
said
call.
the Russians had Luna 15 down at a 10-mile perigee. Wondering if they knew where perigee was.
Maybe we don't.
Okay.
Hello everyone and welcome to the 50th anniversary of the first lunar landing by Apollo 11. As you can see, we have a multimedia presentation created by Ben Feist of ApolloInRealTime.org. The link is in the description, and you can experience this at any time and explore every part of Apollo 11's mission from launch to reentry. And as you can see today, we're hosting the LM landing on the moon, followed by a 6-hour fast forward to Neil Armstrong's first steps. So basically, after the moon landing, it's about at 4:17 p.m. EST. It took quite some time for them to get into the spacesuits and depressurize the cabin. And so we'll fast forward to that because in real time that would happen around 10 p.m. and we're not sticking around that long. So we'll go to that after landing. And right now we're seeing live, well not live, it's live but with a 50-year delay of the audio transcripts over here. Got photos taken by the astronauts. And over here you have mission status, and also whenever there's any video from the missions, you'll see it over here in this area. This timeline here is the immediate timeline of what's happening. Whenever there's like a little blue thing, you'll see there's that indicates that there's going to be a video. And up here you have if we wanted to, we could fast forward to different parts of the mission. And then over here is even bigger scrub. Thank you so much, Sailor Harry. Sailor Harry says, I thought you'd recreate the landing in Elite Dangerous, but this is much cooler. Yes, this is way much cooler. I'm just gonna show you guys what this, who's responsible for making this whole presentation. We're gonna quickly bounce away and go to here. Here's the website about this whole project. It's an amazing project put together by Ben Feist. And I'm sorry if the audio is competing against each other. We'll get back to the mission. But I just want to give a well-deserved shout-out to Ben Feist and the team in ApolloInRealTime.org because they put all this together, and it's just fantastic. Fantastic work.
I've had it in there real good a couple times.
As for audio, is it hard to understand me and the background? Should I? Because right now they're just preparing. I'll let you know when action really starts going on.
Check in. Okay, we're going to check inverter 1. Inverter 2 is good. And inverter 1 is good, and we're on inverter 1. Two buses look good.
Thank you, Ashton. It's fine. Okay, cool.
Okay, get your AELD circuit breaker in and abort stage circuit breaker in. AELD is in. Abort stage is in.
Thanks, St. Paul. I'm glad everyone here.
We lost one. Yep. This cotton picker may be trouble. Well, we have to talk
Now,
about
since
that.
we have some time, quite some time before the actual landing,
When it went out, we didn't get any
I
light
want
from
to
that, so
just do a quick recap on how we got here. Basically, I want to do a little bit of a replay of the launch of the Saturn V rocket. So that's only a few minutes, and we're going to take a pause from the live feed and just go towards the launch itself. And I think it's pretty exciting for us, so especially in this format, and if you've never seen it before.
I just think that's
So we're going to quickly switch over to that, and then come on back. I'm going to go ahead and put this on pause, and we're going to switch over to. So when you go to the website, you can see, join in progress now. We always switch into that button. But you also do the T-1. You join at launch, and then you could fast forward to wherever you want into the mission. So we'll go ahead and jump into that.
Leading up to the ignition sequence at 8.9 seconds. We're approaching the 60-second mark.
CDR and LFP, panel 6 and 9,
T-minus 50 seconds and counting.
I'm going off.
T-minus 6.
And my pad gun going off here has been a nice smooth countdown, Skip. Thank you, babe. LMP, VHS, increase it a little bit.
Real smooth countdown. We passed the 50-second mark. Power transfer is
LMP,
complete.
copy.
We're on
Right here, running out. Okay, and CDR TDC line.
30 seconds away from the Apollo 11 liftoff. All the second stage tanks now pressurized. 35 seconds and counting. We are still go with Apollo 11. 30 seconds and counting.
MC, TDC is good.
Light speed. Astronauts report it feels good. T-minus 25 seconds.
This would have happened
20
on
seconds
Wednesday,
and counting.
just by the way. July 16th,
T-minus 15
1969.
seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. Liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour. Liftoff on Apollo 11.
Roger, Tower. Roger, we got a roll program. Flight 5 on Roger, reporting. Roger.
Pitch your program, but put Apollo 11 on proper heading. Plus 30 seconds.
Flight plane safe is nominal.
Roger, RSO.
Roll complete and the pitch is programming.
Roger, roll. Roger, pitch. Stand by for 1 Bravo. Mark, 1 Bravo.
1 Bravo.
1 Bravo is a...
Flight plane safe is almost in the water.
Roger, RSO.
Altitude's 2 miles.
Okay. Roger, how you, Booster? We're going to flight 31 minutes, Captain.
Oh, 11 Houston, you're good at 1 minute.
Downrange 1 mile, altitude 4 miles now. Velocity 2,195 feet per second.
Fido, flight, how you?
Looking good, flight.
GMC? Good flight. Eastbound? Some good flight.
Where? Yeah, it don't make a difference. No difference. Okay, let's punch it in. Everything is go, Ralph.
We're through the region of maximum dynamic pressure now.
Booster, flight, how you?
Yeah,
We're going to flight.
good here.
Sergeant? We're going flight.
We're 1350 on the start box.
Set 8 miles downrange, 12 miles high. Velocity 4,000 feet per second.
Stand by for mode 1 Charlie. Stand by for mode 1 Charlie. Mark, mode 1 Charlie. Staging Charlie.
Booster, go. Fido, go. Guidance, go.
Cliff Charlesworth taking a staging
All
status.
11, this is Houston. You are go for staging. Inboard cutoff.
Inboard engines are
Confirm inboard cutoff.
Confirm inboard. Roger.
downrange 35 miles, 30 miles high. Standing by for the outboard engine cut down now.
We're going flight. Roger.
Roger. Trajectory verified. Roger.
Thrusters go all engines.
Looks good.
11 Houston, thrusters go all engines. You're looking good.
Hi, Roger. You're loud and clear, Houston.
At 3 minutes, downrange 70 miles, 43 miles high, velocity 9,300 feet per second.
We got skirt down.
Roger, we confirm. Skirts up.
Roger. Tower's gone.
Roger, tower.
Neil Armstrong confirming both the engine skirt separation and the launch escape tower separation.
Houston, be advised the visual is go today.
This is Houston. Roger that.
Let me know when it converges, guys.
Yeah, they finally gave me a window to look
You
out.
can see the different stations talk to each other here.
Looks good. Flight converge. Steering converge, Captain.
11
Capcom,
Houston,
all these
your
all these
guidance
little
is
lights
converged.
are
You're
the
looking
different stations
Kevin, stable at 5-9.
at the control panel talking. So whenever you see one of these lights up, you know who's talking. That's pretty cool.
GNC, we're going flight. Surgeon. Go flight. We're good at 4 minutes, Captain.
11 Houston.
Okay,
you are
that was
go.
the launch.
4
Let's
minutes.
let's return to where we are in real time here.
You don't hear that, huh?
Now, that was on Wednesday. It took them quite a few days to get to the moon, but now we're here and we're
You hear it too, huh?
landing is going to be at 4:17 p.m. It's 3:42 p.m. here in Eastern Standard Time.
We got to get that on these speed. We can go react or high gain and on these
Okay, auto track.
If he doesn't get it, we're not going to get it. We don't, yeah, because he'll lose it with mine. I'll do it first. But it's reaction on the Delta.
Okay, we ready to go to B63.
If he doesn't, I'll just react.
Yep.
Just react. And then we command. Then you have to.
Recently, in Houston, they put back all those computers you see there. They refurbished them and they put them all back together for the anniversary.
Okay, get out. Need to compare a take time. 9:50. Right? See that big number there? That's a big aeroplane. I don't know which way it is.
This is Apollo Control at
Yeah, but they were
2
expecting
hours,
it.
12 minutes into the flight of
Okay,
Apollo 11.
Well, that's been
2 minutes, 53 seconds
Seven,
for
seven
reacquiring
seconds.
spacecraft.
okay.
21 minutes, 23 seconds from the beginning of the powered descent to the lunar surface. It's grown quite quiet here in Mission Control. A few moments ago, Flight Director Gene
Start
Kran
the
requested that everyone sit down,
Remember that one?
get prepared for events that are coming. And he closed with the remark, good luck to all of you. Here on the front of our display boards, battle short functions and a big flashlight which can be used to keep track of the born progress. Among the more important of those is one which will show the performance of the onboard guidance systems, both the primary and the backup guidance system, and compare the guidance systems with the Manned Spaceflight Network tracking. These displays, by the time this is all over, will look a good deal like combination Christmas tree, 4th of July.
Yeah, give me, you'll get it before we will. Ready to give
We're
the
now
status report?
1 minute,
COI? Well, I hope
39
it's on the right
seconds
page.
from reacquiring the command module, Columbia. Acquisition of the lunar module will come a little less than 2 minutes after that. At the time we acquire the ROM, it should be at an altitude of about 18 nautical miles, descending toward the 50,000-foot pericynthium, from which point the powered descent to the lunar surface will be initiated. If for any reason the crew does not like the wake winds look as they're coming across the course of the Earth. Simply by not initiating the maneuver, they will remain in a safe orbit at 60 miles by 50,000 feet. And if they desired, they would be able
At
to
this point,
powered descent.
Houston started having problems with communicating with the Eagle, the descent module, the lunar lander. The high gain antenna had problems locking on to Houston, so Michael Collins had to relay commands or questions to Neil and Buzz in the lunar lander because communications keep dropping off, and not just communications, but all information. They would just disappear. So the landing portion, just the descent part, was a bit hairy for Houston because of those loss of communications, loss of telemetry, and all those sort of vitals.
Network controller says we have acquisition of signal from the commander.
Is the Earth coming up over an Earthrise over the moon? Every Apollo astronaut said that this was the most impressive part of their mission, just seeing the Earth.
We got the high gain yet? Not there, baby. We got the high gain.
You said you have high gain now?
That's affirmed. We got a little trouble locking up.
I didn't think we were going to get high gain. That's sort of dumb, right?
That's firm.
Okay.
You can hear them talking about the problems with the high gain antenna.
Columbia, Houston, over.
In the middle back there is Jim Lovell. He's the commander from Apollo 13, also the backup commander for Apollo 11.
Listen, babe, everything's going just swimmingly. Beautiful.
Great. We're standing by for Eagle.
Okay, he's coming along.
We copy out. And Columbia, Houston, we expect to lose your high gain sometime during the power descent, over.
Columbia, roger. You don't much here, do you?
No, sir.
Let me know when you get the dump econ.
I don't think the high gain will switch in there. We'll skip the dump.
Okay. Skipping dump. Don't lose that data now.
AOS landing.
Roger, AOS landing. Flight telegraph acquisition low bit rate. Low bit. We are at altitude. Low bit rate in altitude.
These old sounds are just amazing.
There you go.
Sounds like a sci-fi thing, but all sci-fi stuff is based off of these sort of sounds. I mean, you can hear when Eagle speaks to Houston, you can hear the sort of sound that George Lucas used for the X-Wing fighters, the voice distortion when they attacked the Death Star. You can hear that in these recordings, which he borrowed from. He figured out how to make that sound because he wanted that for that sequence, and he put it into the movie, and it's just amazing to hear that here.
Minus 0.1. X and Z null to 0.
They've lost data. Flight, they're probably going stereo. LRS good. Dodge.
We're attempting to restore antenna lock through the big Station Goldstone. We'll stand by.
Guidance for flight. Your ice residuals also return Eagle.
I didn't catch the ice.
I don't think you get close enough.
Because you just heard they lost all data with the Eagle. So there's all this noise you're hearing is them trying to not freak out and try to make contact again with the lander.
Eagle, Houston, did you call?
You can imagine whenever we play games, we have problems meeting up with people just in chat or in voice comms. Now imagine the exact same situation, but like from here to the moon.
Roger, 5 Neil. We copied up to the AX residuals. Would you please repeat the AX residuals in the trim correction to sun check, over?
Roger, AX residuals, minus 0.1, minus 0.2, minus 0.7. And we use the things down 86 for Delta VZ, which is 9.5, versus yours, which is 9.1, and I believe that may explain the difference. Apogee 57.2, Paraloon 9.1, sun check the 3 marks, down 20 minus down 22, plus 0.19, plus 0.16, plus 0.11, over.
Right, copy.
Okay, I'm stopping the recorder. They can try to replay and see if they get some.
Now you're gonna hear the public affairs guy give you an update.
That's affirmative. Send attack negative.
12 minutes 54 seconds to ignition.
This is the go time, guys. This is the part where everybody really straps in.
Gene Kranz just advised his flight controllers we're off to a good start. Play it cool.
The old cigarettes at the workstation.
Procedures for flight, we make sure the doors get secured now, please.
Yeah, no, they're locking off the control room from the outside. No one's going in, no one's going out.
Procedures for flight.
Go ahead.
We'll secure the doors.
Roger.
Worst case, cut it off.
Have the site go local.
That's firm.
Okay, are you going to make that call?
Okay, I will.
You should.
12 minutes now until ignition for powered descent. Everything's still looking very good at this point.
He says, well, they still have lost contact with the Eagle.
Flight network, data from Goldstone is from the 210-foot dish. Roger, 210.
Right, good.
Go, guys.
Did you get his TIG is real good in P63? 700ths of a second of those.
Guidance Capcom, what's the 500 and under Disky right now?
Oh, Charlie, hold on. It's please
Flight top down. We've lost data. For some reason, I still think we may be locking up on the side load. Roger.
Yeah, this is just, this is nail biting. They keep losing contact with Eagle. And that's just the start of their problems on this descent. I believe, I can't remember if it was on this mission or in a different one, but I believe one of the
Houston, we lost Eagle again. Have you try the high gain, over?
Eagle has been Columbia, Houston, lost again. They're requesting another try at the high gain.
I believe the high gain antenna kept shifting and turning away from the Earth, and so Buzz had to constantly move it back. I believe that's what was happening. I can't remember if that was for this mission or for a different Apollo mission. But luckily we had Michael Collins in the command module, otherwise there'd be no communication.
Okay, with that, please, setting that 50, doing it 10 minutes, verb 25, 907, setting that flag, would that give you that light? That,
No, we're not. That's a nominal display, John.
Okay.
Cal flight controllers, keep watching your data. I'm still going to be asking for a go, no go here in about 4 minutes.
Can you tell if we're on the main lobe now, Telcom?
Say again?
How does the signal strength look?
It's running about 0.88. It's higher than it has been.
Eagle, Houston, we have you now. Do you read over?
Loud and clear.
Roger, we see your
stand by for
47.
Tags, initialization, and alignment.
Standing by flight.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what the problem was there. It just started oscillating around in yaw. According to the needle, we're picking up a little oscillation right now, as a matter of fact.
Roger, we'll work on it.
Yeah, their high-gain antenna keeps shifting away.
Referring to the LEM steerable antenna, that comment about the oscillations.
Flight Telcom, I think this is probably due to some skin
right on
reflections.
time.
Okay.
Flight network, we're still on 210 data.
Roger.
Did you copy the the sun check, Thomas?
That's affirmative. We did, Buzz, out.
1201 problem alarm that DJ Ambrosia is referring to is seconds before landing on the moon. They got a master alarm from their computer. Basically, it was getting overloaded with data.
See if we can get this
And nobody in the landing module knew what that was. And they contacted Houston, and they didn't know what it was. And they were wondering if they would have to abort. They contacted basically the IT team of the computer, and they were like, yeah, as long as this doesn't happen again, we're fine. Keep going.
Minutes, 37 seconds from ignition.
But what ended up happening, because they were taking so much time to figure out what the 1201 program alarm was, they overshot their landing site. So Neil Armstrong had to take control of the lunar lander and put controls in his own hands and try to land it and find a new spot to land. So where they ended up landing was way off from where they were supposed to. And you can hear later on when it comes up, just listen to Houston. They say 60 seconds, 30 seconds, 20 seconds. They're not reading them how long it's going to take them to get to the moon. They're telling them how much fuel they have left. So Neil barely makes it with enough fuel before they would have to push abort and take off. And he did such a good job. He actually did too good of a job on landing. He landed it so softly.
Our radar checks indicates 50,000 foot failure, and our visual altitude checks are setting it out at about 53,000.
Roger, copy.
He landed it so softly that the legs of the lunar module were designed to kind of crunch a bit when they hit the surface. He landed it so softly they didn't crunch. So when he descends off of the ladder, there's so much room. He has to hop off of the ladder onto the foot of the lunar module, and that's why there's that huge gap. And during that, and then when they have to get back onto the lunar module to leave, they have to jump to get back on.
Roger, we saw that.
You want them to roll about 10 degrees, right?
It'd be yaw.
Yaw.
Roger.
Okay,
Eagle, Houston, we
40
recommend
seconds to the
you
go,
yaw
go.
10 right will help us on the high gain signal strength, over.
And they're getting ready. They're giving them some commands for movements, getting ready for a deorbit burn. Or not deorbit, but I guess it is deorbit. A descent burn.
Okay, all flight controllers, go for powered descent. Retro? Go.
Coming up on 5 minutes to ignition.
Roll.
Gene Gunn's getting a go, no go for
GNC,
descent.
go. Econ, go. Surgeon, go. Capcom, word go for powered descent.
Eagle, Houston, if you read your go for power descent, over.
They lost communications with Eagle again.
Houston, we've lost you on the high gate again. Would you please, we recommend a yaw right 10 degrees and re-inquire.
Break. We'd like to go forward Omni.
Eagle to Columbia, your go for PDI, and they recommend you yaw right 10 degrees and try the high gate again.
So again, this is why Michael Collins was so instrumental to this landing. He was our go-between. Otherwise, Eagle would have no idea what Houston's trying to tell them.
Roger, understand. Stabilization control circuit breakers.
Got stay in the eggs. Looks good.
Gimbal AC closed. Gimbal AC closed. For the breakers. And override.
Saying the alignment's good. Alignment's go, Capcom.
Gimbal enable. Base scale 25.
Eagle Houston, your alignment is go on the eggs. On my mark, 3:30 till ignition.
Roger.
Flight Fido. Go, Fido.
Mark, 3:30 till ignition.
Roger, copy. Hot translation forecast. Diamond couple on. Carry throttle minimum. Throttle auto CDR. Top button reset. Top button. Okay, abort stage reset. At control, free up the mode control.
Those are the vital signs of the astronauts.
X is reading 400 plus 1. Standing by for Army.
Buzz Aldrin reading off the checklist there to Neil Armstrong.
It's 77. 77 over 62.
Flight Fido. We shows maybe a little low.
Okay, sequence camera coming on.
Alright, now we're getting feed from the lunar lander itself. This is the view out of, I believe, Buzz Aldrin's window? Yeah, I think it's Buzz Aldrin's window. They're what we would consider upside down, and so they're looking up at the moon. Now, I need to note that, Argenzo, how many hours till landing? It's going to be at 4:17 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so in about 14 minutes. Now, an interesting note about the astronauts in the lunar module is that there's no seats.
I think I've got you on high gain now.
They're standing up. When they land on the moon, they're landing standing. No harnesses, no chairs, no nothing. They're landing feet first. They batten down everything with Velcro straps.
Pitch 212, yaw plus 37.
Copy. Okay, what else is left to do here? Landing then. 40 seconds. Your camera running?
30 seconds.
It's coming up. They're going for the landing retro rockets. They're going to start deorbiting here.
Current altitude about 46,000 feet, continuing to descend.
Okay, the override at 5 seconds. Descent armed. All of your lights on.
Gibbs
Start ready for approaching.
Gibbs arm.
Approaching. 1, 0. Ignition 10%.
10% TCP. Dodge 10%.
Start on time.
I lost them on the high gain again.
The turn on that 20 foot per second residual that is probably down track area.
I'll leave it relay to it.
20 foot residual due to down track
See if they got me now. I got your signal strength and fluid.
Eagle, we got you now.
GTC go.
Looking good, over.
GTC go. Line control, we go. GTC, okay.
Okay, ready, beef, that looks good.
Eagle, Houston, everything's looking good here, over.
Roger, copy.
Eagle, Houston, after you're around angles, S-band pitch, -9, yaw, +18.
Flight Fighter, we have negative misfit.
Roger, negative misfit. You got
Copy.
These craters are so close.
Things lagging.
Apollo 10 got about 8 miles away from the surface for their dress rehearsal of this landing. I couldn't imagine how it felt to like get so close to the moon and yet know that they had to go right back home.
Roger, thrust 9820.
Copy, flight.
About 20 foot per second.
Altitude will go nine.
No change is what you're saying.
No change. That's down track, I know it.
Roger.
Okay, we want to turn.
2 minutes, 20 seconds, everything looking good. We show altitude. We've reinitialized the filter.
Get rid of the radar.
Difference. Roger.
Yeah. The fluid. Move.
Flight Fighter, GTC.
Houston are getting a little fluctuation in the AZ voltage now.
Roger.
That's the meter maybe, huh?
Stand by. It's looking good to us. You're still looking good at coming up 3 minutes.
Okay, control, let me know when he starts his yaw.
We went by the 3 minute point early. A little long.
How's your misfit looking now, Fighter?
Flight Fighter, we do have the altitude. We're done.
Okay, how about you guys?
About 18 foot. We're going to make it
Our position change downrange to us to be a little long.
Roger, copy.
Thanks, sir. Thanks, it's on about 15 per second. Greater rate of
We can confirm that.
Flight controllers, 30 seconds to next go, no go.
Mark. Show us to be about standby. Maybe I'm not that. Altitude rate, but rate down the group. I just want 3 seconds long. Go on over. Okay, now watch that signal strength.
Flight controllers and make your go, no goes based on the data you have for LOS. So we got 2 seconds. Okay, retro, go. Fighter, go, guide, go. Roll, go, go, go. Ginseng, Eco, Sergeant, go. Captain, we're going to continue PGI.
We're leaving the 80 knots to go in 4 minutes.
Did you get that right now? 80 knots go.
You're going to continue power descent. You're going to continue power descent.
Alright, maneuvering for power descent.
How you look over there, okay?
Okay, we got data back.
Radar flight looks good.
Raj.
2,000 feet.
Raj, 2,000
Okay,
foot
we got good
LH.
lock on. We got a lock on?
We know when he exhausted guidance.
Altitude lights out, okay. LA to minus 2,900.
Roger, we copy.
At the Earth, right out of front window. Houston, you looking at our Delta H?
Looks good.
Program alarm.
Looks good.
Looking good to
Is he
us.
accepting it, guidance?
1202.
Stand by.
1202.
The first error.
Looks like it's good.
Good radar data. Altitude now 33,500 feet.
With the program alarm here, they're really worried.
Same thing we had.
Flight Metro. Now, 6 plus 2.
Give us a reading on the 1202 program alarm.
We're going that flight.
We're going that line.
Roger, we got you. We're going
If
out
it doesn't
alarm.
reoccur, we'll be going. He's taking in Delta H now.
Roger.
Roger, 330.
Did you get the throttle down?
2-5.
Looks like about 820.
Flight final.
Roger, copy. 6.2 plan.
Roger. We're still go. Altitude 27,000 feet.
Same alarm, and it appears to come up when we have a 1668 up.
Roger, copy.
Okay, we'll monitor his Delta H flight.
Where we,
I think that's what's good.
coming down?
Eagle Houston will monitor
Yeah,
your
it's
Delta
coming down.
H.
And his alarms.
Roger.
Delta H is beautiful.
Delta H
It
is
looks
looking
good now.
Roger, Delta H is looking good to us.
Okay, all flight controllers, hang tight. Should be flying down.
Throttle on time. You can feel it in here when the throttle's down.
Throttle down.
Better in the simulator.
Roger.
They're starting to feel the effects of the moon's gravity on them.
How's it looking, guys?
Alright, some things look real close.
You want him to stay out of 68?
Negative flight. I just said we'll monitor the alarms.
Okay.
Okay.
No flare.
Altitude now 21,000 feet. Still looking very good.
So now 68. Now, we all may be the problem here. We can monitor Delta H.
Roger.
Flight final looking real good.
Velocity down now to 1,200
7
feet per
minutes,
second.
you're looking great to us, Eagle.
Telcom,
Okay, I'm still on through, so we may tend to lose as we gradually take over. Let me try auto again now, see what happens.
I'm gonna try this turbo again, Don.
Okay, looks like it's over.
Roger, we got good data.
Okay,
Turbo down. That's a pretty flight. It's holding in there pretty good. Roger.
730 coming up.
Okay, everybody, hang tight. It's
7 minutes, 30 seconds into burn.
Radar's fixed. The velocity's beautiful.
Roger.
Altitude 16,300 feet.
Descent to fuel
I
crate.
have no idea what these monitors.
Fuel.
What is that? I mean,
He didn't want to say credit.
And I have to
Roger.
wait
Descent to fuel.
Eagle Houston is descent to fuel. Monitor, over.
You have to window.
so we got Neil Armstrong in the controls and Buzz looking out the window, giving him cues and boulders and craters and whatnot.
Roger, stand by. You're looking great at 8 minutes.
Got an estimated, what's our T-go?
30 seconds to P64.
You got 30 seconds to P64.
Okay, we still got landing radar guidance. Okay, is it converged?
That's beautiful.
Is it converged?
Yes.
Okay. Flight final, we go. Look real good. Roger, Fido.
Fido says we're go. Altitude
Eagle Houston
9,200 feet.
at 8:30. You're looking great.
At this point, Armstrong is realizing that they've overshot their landing site.
129 feet per
Okay,
second.
they got
We
64.
copy.
T-go's good.
Roger, T-goes go. We have position 2 on now. Roger, position 2. All flight controllers, 20 seconds. Gotta go for
5,100
wind.
feet per second.
Eagle, you're looking great. Coming up 9 minutes.
And check my attitude control.
We're now in the approach phase. Everything looking good. Altitude 5,200
Okay,
feet.
all flight controllers, gonna go for landing. Retro.
Attitude control is good.
No. Control.
And altitude control is good.
GNC. Ecom. Sergeant.
Go.
Capcom, we're go for
Altitude
landing.
4,200.
Eagle Houston, you're go for landing. Over.
3,070. Roger, understand. Go for landing. 3,000 feet. Program alarm. 1201. 1201.
Roger, 1201 alarm.
1201 alarm. Second.
That alarm keeps popping up.
Same type. We're go.
Flight fader, right on.
2,000
Real
feet.
good.
2,000 feet. Into the eye. 47 degrees. 47 degrees.
How's our check about? It looks okay. We're
That's
okay.
not a bad looking area.
Eagle looking great. You're go.
Altitude 16 good.
Roger.
1,400 feet. Still looking very good.
30 is good. What's LPD?
Roger, 1202. We copy it.
How you doing?
35 degrees.
We look good here.
35 degrees. 750. Coming down to 23. Okay. 700 feet, 21 down. 33 degrees. Pretty rocky area. 600 feet down at 19. I'm going to 540 feet down at 30. Down at 15.
19. Okay, that hold.
I think we're going to be
Look at all those boulders.
Okay, the other call-outs from now on.
Need forward.
You land on one of those and the lunar module could tip
350 feet
over.
down at 4. 6.5 down.
Armstrong's starting to get worried about fuel.
Take on terminal velocity. 300 feet down, 3.5. 47 forward. Hold up. And 1.5 down.
Aldrin reading out fuel time and speed and descent and forward motion.
Okay, looks like a good area here. I got this shadow out there. 50 down at 2.5. 19 forward. Altitude velocity light. 3.5 down. 220 feet. 13 forward. 11 forward, coming down nicely, 200 feet. 4.5 down. 5.5 down. We gotta get started over here.
Mission control about to tell them they only have 60 seconds left.
9 forward. Looks good. 120 feet. 100 feet, 3.5 down, 9 forward. 5%. On anybody? Okay, 75 feet. That's looking good, down a half. 6 forward.
60 seconds.
60 seconds.
Lights on. 6. Down 2.5. Forward. Forward. That's good. 40 feet down, 2.5. Picking up some dust. 30 feet, 2.5 down. Straight shadow. 4 forward. 4 forward, just into the right a little. 20 feet, down a half.
30 seconds.
Forward, just a little bit. Good. Okay. Contact light. Okay, engine stop. APA at a descent. Auto descent. Auto control both auto descent engine command override off. Engine arm off. 413 is in.
Look at that guy in the background.
We copy you down, Eagle.
T1, stand by. T1.
Tranquility base here. The Eagle has landed.
Roger, Tranquility. We copy you.
Oh, they got it.
You got
They did it.
The guys about to turn blue. We're breathing again. Thanks a lot.
They had about, I think Aldrin said they had 15 seconds left of fuel.
Let's go on. Okay, we're going to leave busy for a minute. After our run, take care of the descent. After our run, coming on. I'll get this up to there.
Okay, our flight controller is about 45 seconds to T1, stay no stay.
+2 looks beautiful.
They needed to make some, look at all the checks, look at all the systems, make sure they're safe to stay on the moon, or if they need to get out of there.
Okay, keep the chatter down in this room. Charles, Roger.
I didn't hear that.
Okay, T1, stay no stay. Retro. Stay. Idle. Stay. Idle. Control. Stay. Outbound. Stay. GNC. Econ. Stay. Surgeon. Stay. Capcom, we're stay for T1.
Hey, it looks like we're bending the oxidizer now.
Roger, Eagle, and you are stay for T1. Over. Eagle, you are stay for T1.
Roger. Bending ox.
Roger.
And we
see him stay to T1.
Roger, and we see you bending the ox.
Fire safe. Roger.
Roger.
So much time and preparation into this. So many years. Ace asks if the RCS could help. I don't know. I don't know if it would have been strong enough. Now, meanwhile, no one's spoken to Michael Collins this entire time.
Okay, our flight controller is 4 more minutes to T2, stay no stay.
P68, we have it now, 43.
Copy,
Roger, landing verification.
43.
Roger, we have it.
Yes, sir, read Columbia Navigation.
Roger, we read you 5 by Columbia. He
Right,
has
landing
landed Tranquility Base. Eagle is at Tranquility, over.
Yeah, I heard the whole thing.
Well, good show.
Fantastic. Stop reset.
Okay, let's track them through these procedures now.
Well, we got the high gain back in airbase.
So after they do all the post-landing checks, make sure everything on the lander is fine.
The next major stay, no stay, will be for the T2 event. That is at 21 minutes 26 seconds after initiation of powered descent.
Houston, Columbia went up telemetry command reset to reacquire on the high gain. Copy out.
Roger.
So it's going to take about 6 hours for them to put on their gear, depressurize the cabin, and go out for the first step on the moon.
Okay,
Now we're not going to be here for 6 hours, so we're going to do you guys a solid,
get a go from you when you're happy
and we're going to fast forward to the first foot on the moon. I got that set up for us.
We have unofficial time for that. Yes, sir. 102 hours, 45 minutes, 42 seconds, and we will update that.
So I have some post-landing videos. First, the first foot on the moon, taking off from the moon, the re-entry, and then also a special video with audio from Michael Collins from Google's recent Apollo 50th doodle. It's a really touching audio piece by Michael Collins, and that'll be towards the end of the stream. So we're going to stay here on the moon for a couple more seconds, and then we're going to switch over to when Neil Armstrong steps out onto the moon itself. Yes, Tim, we're going to get you that first... Oh, you want the first barefoot on the moon. Well, it's going to take a while to get to there.
And do you want V horizontal 5515.2?
All right, we're going to pause this here, fellas and dudettes. And go to Neil Armstrong 6 hours later, going out and stepping on the moon.
Stay will be for one complete revolution of the command module.
Control from flight. Go ahead.
So here we are. This is going to be the landing on, not landing on the moon, stepping on the moon. Here we go. This is about 6 hours later. They're looking at the vitals.
Okay, Houston, I'm on the porch. Roger, Neil.
Now, if you guys want to tune into watching the actual first foot on the moon,
Columbia, this is Houston, 1 minute 30 seconds to LOS, all systems go.
you can watch it here or wait 6 hours, and we have a link in the description to this site. And you can watch it 6 hours from now, or you could watch it here, or you could do both, or both. Now, both astronauts had to put on their suits because they had to depressurize the cabin of the lunar module. They open the door, and the door goes straight to the outside. And then the
Neil Armstrong on the porch at 109 hours, 19 minutes, 16 seconds.
And then the ladder down, and then Neil's gonna have to hop down off the ladder because he landed it too softly, and it didn't crunch the legs. Here, Buzz Aldrin setting up the camera. This is the 16mm film camera they had on board. So this isn't the TV camera that was on the leg of the lander. Now the TV camera is propped open by Neil himself. When he gets onto the ladder, there's a little lever, and he pulls it, and the TV camera pops open, and they're able to see the landing. That signal went from the moon to Australia, and then from Australia to the rest of the world. He's pulling down now. You can see Neil. He's outside of the vehicle. You can see him in the shadows there. He's pulling the lever for the TV camera.
Houston, the Mesa came down. All right.
Flight telecom, you should open
Houston,
TV
Roger,
circuit
we
breaker.
copy, and we're
TV
standing by
circuit
for your
breaker.
CEV.
and clear. Break, break. Buzz, this is Houston. Radio check and verify TV circuit breaker in.
Roger, TV circuit breaker's in. Base 5 clear.
Roger. And we're getting a picture on the TV.
Okay. You got a good picture, huh?
There's a great deal of contrast in it, and currently it's upside down on our monitor, but we can make out a fair amount of detail.
Okay, we can verify the position.
See Neil there. He's on what's called the porch.
Stand by.
That's a TV signal beaming from the moon to Australia to the rest of the world.
Coming down the ladder now.
Again, we're viewing from.
Getting back up to that first step. It's that hasn't collapsed too far, but it's adequate to get back up.
Roger, we copy.
It's a pretty good little jump.
He's stalling because there's a giant gap between the ladder and the moon because he landed too softly and the legs didn't crunch.
F2, 1/160th second for shadow photography on the sequence camera.
Okay. At the foot of the ladder, the limb footpads are only depressed in the surface about 1 or 2 inches. Although the surface appears to be very, very fine-grained as you get close to it. It's almost like a powder. Ground mass is very fine. And step off the limb now. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. As the surface is fine and powdery, I can pick it up loosely with my toe. It does adhere in fine layers, like powdered charcoal, to the sole and sides of my boot. I only go in a fraction of an inch, maybe an eighth of an inch, but I can see the footprints of my boots and the treads in the fine sandy particles.
Neil, this is Houston. We're copying.
There seems to be no difficulty in moving around as we suspected. It's even perhaps easier than the simulations of 16G that we performed in various simulations on the ground. Absolutely no trouble to walk around. Okay, the descent engine did not leave a crater of any size. It has about 1 foot clearance on the ground. We're essentially on a very level place here. I can see some evidence of rays emanating from the descent engine, but very insignificant amount.
he's talking about rays, he means the particles being blown away from the landing site.
Okay, Buzz, we ready to bring down the camera?
I'm all ready. I think it's now squared away in good shape.
Okay.
Okay, you'll have to pay out all the LEC. It looks like it's coming out nice and evenly.
Okay, it's quite dark here in the shadow and a little hard for me to see it. I have good footing. I'll work my way over into the sunlight here without looking directly into the sun.
Capcom. Okay, it's taut now.
Flight Capcom.
Go.
Yeah, we tried getting the camera. We haven't heard anything about the contingency sample. Suggest we stand by for a minute.
Unofficial time on the first step, 109.2420.
FAO flight.
Go fly.
FAO EVA flight. Okay, I think it's going on. Can we wait a minute or two? These inverted, these are
Okay, I'm ready to pull it down now.
They won't hurt anything except the science priority.
Left in the...
Okay, don't hold it quite so tight. Okay?
Okay, all buzz is coming out now.
Okay.
Looking up at the limb, I'm standing directly in the shadow now, looking up at Buzz in the windows. And I can see everything quite clearly. The light is sufficiently
Neil's right here.
backlighted into the front of the limb that everything is very clearly visible.
FOD TV network.
Okay, I'm going to be changing it. Okay.
In the photo here, you see the caption here: honeysuckle Polaroid. Honeysuckle is the antenna station in Australia that got the footage from the moon and then transmitted it to, again, to the rest of the world. I think they were the backup station too. The first one didn't get a good enough signal, so thank goodness they got the backup station. Otherwise, nobody would have gotten any footage of the first lunar landing. There's a lot of really great YouTube videos on that team and the little bit of heroics they went through to keep this signal as strong as it was. Even though everything's very blurry, it's still a lot stronger, a lot better than not having any signal at all.
Data's good. Crew's doing well.
Roger. EMU flight, how are you?
Surgeon says
The
that
camera installed on the RCU bracket.
Go ahead, fly.
You look okay?
You look real good, fly.
surgeon says the crew is doing well. Data is good. Crew is doing well.
I'm still in the LEC on the secondary struts.
Now, when Buzz comes out, I think he gets what's called a contingency sample. So if for whatever reason they need to leave right away, he basically his orders are to scoop a bunch of dirt, put it into his pocket, in case that's all they get from the moon. Later on, of course, they stay the whole time and they get all the samples they need.
Capcom, reminder.
Roger, Neil, we're reading you loud and clear. Let's see you get some pictures and the contingency sample.
Neil, I think, was the only one who actually trained himself to be a photographer for all this, and it really shows when you go through all the lunar
35.5 minutes of PLSS
landing photos. All his are really well composed and really well, what's it called, exposed also. everybody else is just willy-nilly. And thank goodness they're on really nice medium format cameras, because you can really crop and zoom into those things. They're about like, I don't know, like 4 or 6 times larger than the negative from a regular 35 millimeter camera.
We have uplink when we're on parks, don't we?
Negative. You have uplink, but not through parks.
And he really
through Goldstone uplink.
did a lot to train himself on how to take really good photos.
Capcom play.
Third place.
And it really shows in these photos and in other ones when compared to other Apollo missions.
Neil, this is Houston. Did you copy about the contingency sample, over? All right, you're going to get to that just as soon as I finish these picture series.
Fair enough.
They're asking him, have you picked up the moon dirt we asked you to? And he's like, just taking photos out here. He's doing a nice pan around. There's a really great website. I'll post it in the description later on, where it takes all the pans of that all the pictures that the astronauts took, and they put it into like a 3D space, so you can see all these pans and viewpoints, and it's really nifty. It's really cool to see. So we're just waiting now for Buzz Aldrin to come on down. Neil took quite a few really nice photos of that.
Okay, going to get the contingency sample there, Neil.
Collins light.
Okay, that's good.
That's a little shovel, little holder thing to scoop up the lunar soil. Not soil. Regolith, I think it's called.
Okay, the contingency sample is down and it's up sample. Like it's a little difficult to dig through the initial crust. Very interesting. It's a very soft surface, but here and there where I plug with the contingency sample collector, I run into very hard surface, but it appears to be very cohesive material of the same sort.
I believe he's running into some basalt beneath the grainy surface.
Oh, that looks beautiful from here, Neil. It has a stark beauty all its own. It's like much of the high desert of the United States. It's different, but it's very pretty out here. Be advised that a lot of the rock samples out here, the hard rock samples, have what appear to be vesicles in the surface. Also, I'm looking at one now that appears to have some sort of phenocryst.
Meaning they're kind of glassy.
Houston, roger out.
Oh, when they played golf on the moon, I believe that was Apollo 16 or 17.
Okay, the handle is off the... push it in about 6, 8 inches into the surface. Like it's pretty easy to... It is. It's, I'm sure I could push it in farther, but it's hard for me to bend down farther than that.
There's a lot of really fun footage of later on in other Apollo missions of astronauts just throwing things. It was so much fun to throw the covers off of things when they were like putting down the experiments on the lunar surface. So they take the covers off and they just toss it. That's so much fun. They would just even laugh about it. And that prompted one of them to bring a golf ball and a head of one of their golf clubs, and they attach it to the one end of their stick. He was able to fashion a screw in there, and then use that to whack at golf balls. I think about distance about like 2 mile, like a 2 mile drive.
Yeah, push down. Got it? Now, not all the way in, push it. Good. There you go.
Engines disabled is in the
Flight
pocket.
EMU.
My oxygen is 81%. I have no flags, and I'm in minimum flow.
Go EMU.
Just give it
This is
1
Houston, or Roger Neil.
Are the golf balls still up there? Yeah, they're still up there.
The camera going at 1 frame a second.
Now, interesting tidbit. The Soviets, they sent some some probes to the moon way prior to all this. And on one of the probes, they had what looked like a soccer ball. And on each of the panels, they had the date of that mission and the Soviet symbol on it. And they exploded it and sent all like these basically little calling cards all over the surface of the moon. So those are gonna be fun to one day pick up through space archaeology, which is a thing apparently. We got a video coming out next month about space archaeology. We've interviewed some space archaeologists, and that's gonna be a fun one.
Here you come into our field of view. Let me move that over the edge for you.
Okay, ready for me to come out?
Yeah, just stand by a second. I'll move this over the handrail.
Okay, Buzz is about to come out. Speaking of which, tomorrow, guys, we have a video coming out about the where all the lunar ascent modules, all the cabins, where all the astronauts were inside.
1400 BTU. Clear. Okay.
We got a video coming out where all those ended up on the moon.
All set.
125 heart rate.
A lot of people don't know this, but they crashed all the lunar modules back onto the moon after they transferred to the command module. And we got a really great video for you tomorrow about that. All the crash sites of the lunar modules and the Saturn third stage rockets, the Saturn S4Bs. They impacted those into the moon for seismology regions. I'm not even sure that's a word. Basically, all the astronauts put seismometers all over the moon, and they wanted to study the interior. So in order to do that, they ran spaceships into. Okay, here's Buzz. Here's his butt. Astronaut butt. Sorry.
Okay, now drop your bliss down. There you go. You're clear. And laterally, you're good. Got an inch clearance on top of your bliss.
It's funny when he gets out, he doesn't know how to lock the door. I'm like, wait, is somebody gonna come by and steal the lunar module?
How far are my feet from the...
Okay, you're right at the edge of the porch.
Okay. Back in from...
That's the porch there. That little, looks like a plank of wood.
Small little foot movement. Porch. Arching of the back. Moment comes up and clears the bulkhead without any trouble at all.
Looks good.
.45 minutes PLSS time expended.
Neil, this is Houston. Based on your camera transfer with the LEC, do you foresee any difficulties in SRC transfer over? Negative.
That's the sample return containers, the rock boxes that Capcom...
Okay, now I want to back up and partially close that.
That's the descent thruster here. On a subsequent landing, that thruster hit the bottom of the hit the surface and actually crunched it. So thank goodness the descent module stays, and then the ascent module was way up there.
Particularly good touch. That's our home for the next couple hours. We want to take good care of it. Okay, I'm on the top step, and I can look down over the RCU and landing gear pad. It's a very simple matter to hop down from one step to the next. Yes, I found it to be very comfortable, and walking is also very comfortable. You've got 3 more steps and then a long one.
You can see the bottom of the ladder doesn't extend to the surface very easily, because like we said,
Okay, I'm going to leave that 1 foot up there, and
Neil landed it a bit too soft.
There you go. Okay, now I think I'll do the same. A little more. About another inch. There, you got it? That's a good step. Yep. About a 3-footer.
So he's practicing jumping off and jumping back onto the ladder, in case he needed to get out of there lickety-split.
Beautiful view. Isn't that something? Magnificent flight out here. Magnificent desolation.
Alright, Emu. Go. Both posted red on the nominal on consumables. Roger.
Wow, the oxygen's going fine.
Both PLSS is nominal on consumables.
Looks like the secondary strut have little thermal effects on it right here, Neil. Yeah, I noticed that. Seems to be the worst, although similar effects are on all around. Powder is very, very fine powder, isn't it? Isn't it fine? Right in this area, I don't think there's much of any fine powder. Some clouds together, it's hard to tell whether it's a cloud or a rock. Now you can pick it out. Yeah, and it bounces and then
Aldrin is jumping up and down, seeing what it's like.
reaching down, really easy. Get my suit dirty at this stage. The mass of the backpack does have some effect in inertia.
Flight EVA. Go. The commander ought to be getting the TV out while Aldrin is doing this activity. Roger. I don't see him. Has he moved that way?
I can see now to...
I think he's kind of watching the LMP.
Due to the soft, very soft...
Which may be a good thing.
Texture. You're standing on a rock, big rock there now. This patch here didn't. No, it didn't.
Oops,
No
sorry guys.
crater there at all from the engine. No. I wonder if that's right under the engine as we're overhead. I'd like that. Yeah, I think that's a good representation of our sideward velocity at touchdown. Holding the probe. I'll see that probe over on the -Y strut.
What's really incredible about the next lunar landing, Apollo 12, is they landed basically right next to Surveyor 7, which was a lander that NASA had sent to the moon, and they landed just meters away from it. In fact, they would have landed on top of it hadn't they taken manual control, and it had been programmed to land on top of it, and assuming that it wouldn't actually do that, but they were so exact in their descent that they had to take manual control and then land a few meters away, and the astronauts were able to walk to it and take a piece off of it. I think the camera they took off of the Surveyor, and take it back home. And I think that's so amazing. Here you can see how little that pad moved. This was supposed to be inside of it here. It was designed to crunch up.
Say again, please, Buzz. You're cutting out. And I say that the rocks are rather slippery. Sergeant? Very powdery surface when it's on there. It's fill up all the very little fine porises. I'll tend to slide over it rather easily.
Capcom flight.
Good flight. He's taking the cover off the Mesa now.
Neil Armstrong getting ready to move the TV camera now out to its panorama position.
And network just inverted the picture.
Traction seems quite good.
He's moving the camera over, and he has to be really careful not to point it at the sun. A subsequent lunar mission, when they took the camera off, I think it was Bean, he accidentally pointed it at the sun, and that was it. Show's over. They didn't have any more footage from the from that camera for the rest of the mission.
We're out of money on the consumables, and the cooling looks proper.
And moving on,
He's still in that. They're really putting the heat.
Aldrin testing out his
Expecting to change it a minute.
inertia with the moon's gravity.
And I have the insulation off the Mesa now. The Mesa seems to be in good shape. Have to be careful that you're leaning in the direction you want to go, otherwise you slightly an 8 feet. Otherwise you have to cross your foot over to stay underneath where your center of mass is. Hey Neil, didn't I say we might see some purple rocks? Find a purple rock? Yep. Very small, sparkly fragments are rock. They reflect the sun in places. I would make a first guess at some sort of biotite. We'll leave that to the further analysis.
What's kind of fun is that in the
Experiments. Could we get him to repeat
the voice comms here are sounds very somber, very professional. In the later Apollo missions, they're laughing. They'll be talking about how cool it is out there. It's really just enjoying themselves. But here with this crew, they're just very professional. They knew the world was watching them.
Biotite is a brown mica substance.
Okay, Houston, I'm going to change lenses on you. Roger, Neil.
Flight Capcom, it's been about 55 minutes since they started deep rest. I think we ought to give them a limb status report.
Life support consumables still looking good.
Go flight. All looking good. That's affirmative.
They're putting down the plaque of the first lunar landing.
Okay, Houston, tell me, get a new picture. Neil, this is Houston. That's affirmative. We're getting a new picture. You can tell it's a longer focal length lens. And for your information, all LEM systems are go. Over. For your information, all LEM.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
And there, they're at the foot of the lander, attaching the plaque. And Neil's about to read it.
There goes the flag light.
Neil is now unveiling the plaque that is.
Roger, we got you four-sided, but back to one side. Four-sided. For those who haven't read the plaque, we'll read the plaque that's on the front landing gear of this LEM. There's two hemispheres, one showing each of the two hemispheres of Earth. Underneath it says, "Here men from the planet Earth first set foot upon the moon, July 1969, AD. It came in peace for all mankind." It has the crew members' signatures and the signature of the President of the United States. Ready for the camera?
Now we're giving a lot of love here to Buzz and Neil. In a few moments, I'm going to share with you something that Michael Collins and Google prepared, and it's one of my favorite things.
I'm afraid these soft
So we're
materials
going
are
to take a quick pause from this, and we'll go to the Phil Collins. I knew I was going to do that. Michael Collins audio. All right. Where is it? Okay. Here we go. First of all, do you guys see it? Should be able to see it in the stream. Okay, here we go.
3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32.
Hi, I'm Mike Collins, astronaut on Apollo 11. 50 years ago, I went on an adventure which took Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin to the surface of the moon for the first time in history, while I stayed in orbit 60 miles above them in the command module, which would eventually bring us all home. After a big breakfast, our rocket lifted off in the morning of July 16, 1969. Neil, Buzz, and I felt the weight of the world on our shoulders. It took around 400,000 people to land humankind on the moon. From engineers to computer programmers to the people who sewed airtight spacesuits. We thought our onboard computer was very sophisticated, but in fact it had less computing power than what we all carry around in our pockets today. NASA worked with 3 antennas around the Earth, one in Spain, one in Australia, and one in California. So our team in Houston could see us anytime and tell what our trajectory should be, no matter which way the Earth was turned. We were in constant sunlight between the Earth and the Moon. In order to regulate the temperatures on Apollo 11, we had to perform a maneuver which some called a barbecue roll, in which we rotated sideways like a chicken on a spit. The first time we saw the moon up close, it was a magnificent spectacle. It was huge. The sun was coming around it, cascading and making a golden halo, and filled our entire window. As impressive as the view was of this alien moon seen up close, it was nothing compared to the sight of the tiny Earth. The Earth was the main show. The Earth was it. After a tense descent, in which they almost ran out of fuel, Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin landed on the moon on July 20th, 1969.
Listen, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed. I'm going to step off the limb now. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Neil and Buzz set up an American flag and a plaque that read, "Here men from the planet Earth first set foot upon the moon. July 1969 AD. We came in peace for all mankind." Behind the moon I was by myself, all alone but not lonesome. If you counted, there were 3 billion plus 2 people on one side and me on the other. I felt very comfortable back there. I even had hot coffee. We arrived back on Earth on July 24th, 1969, and landed in the Pacific Ocean. We were invited to take a tour around the world, and I was amazed that everywhere we went, people would say, we did it. We, you and me, the inhabitants of this wonderful Earth, we did it. Houston, Mike Collins on Apollo 11. Thank you so much for joining me today. Mike Collins out.
God, that gets me every time. I love that bit.
Material,
We're back here on the moon, guys. Oh God, that really gets me every time I see it. It's really beautiful.
how good your lens is, but if you
Well, fellas and dudettes, we're about to take off from and leave you guys with links in the description for this site so you can explore every bit of it. Watch the landing, watch the walking on the moon for the first time, all of it. Link of course is in the description. Another huge thank you to those who put this together on apolloinrealtime.org. It's a really phenomenal site, and it's really easy to use and super informative. If I had more time, I gotta get going now, but if I had more time, I'd show you the takeoff. Well, let's do that now. Let's go do that now. Where's the takeoff? Not that one. Is this it? Lunar launch. Let's go to the lunar launch. This is so amazing to me. I love it. All right, this is where they take off from the moon. This is like tomorrow, but we're not gonna be here tomorrow, so let's watch it now. Okay, they're about to go switch to the LM camera. It's taking off. They're pitching over. And we should see the ascent very soon out of Buzz Aldrin's out of his window.
There's that one crater in there.
Tank 2's good, Captain. No manual start override flight.
1,000 feet high, 80.
And we'll see it tomorrow. We've got a new video coming out of all the crash sites of the lunar modules. After they transferred to the command module, they deorbited the lunar modules to impact the moon for science reasons.
2,600 feet up.
And we have the whole story on how 2 independent researchers found those sites because NASA couldn't find it. Before we leave, I just wanted you guys see them take off. There we go. It's outside of Neil Armstrong too, but Buzz Aldrin's window. This is them
30 feet vertical rise rate.
leaving the surface of the moon to meet up with Michael Collins in the command module. Alright. Thanks for watching. And we'll catch you guys again for another live stream, another science live stream another time. But definitely for a video tomorrow. Catch that and say hi in the comments. We read every single one. And thank you so much for joining us here. I'm leaving 07 to all you all who joined me from Elite Dangerous. It's always nice to see you guys. And pushing some buttons here. Have a great 50th Apollo 11 first lunar landing anniversary, guys. Have a good one. It's going to be on archive, so if you missed this, if you just got here, don't worry, it's saved. And besides, the link's in the description. Follow along at your own leisure. Ciao for now. Bye bye.
Airplane looks like it's holding good, Houston. Yeah, Roger, we can get her. It's great. 1400, 180 close.
Aldrin is reading the horizontal velocity first, and then the vertical velocity. Now 1424 feet per second vertical velocity. 187 vertical velocity.